All right, well, thank you all for joining us on our first of several Fall Healthy Living virtual series. Today is a really good one for all ages, regardless of who you are. It's Vow to Wow, being the best you. We are delighted to offer this type of thing as a combination between our independent living over in Hillside Village, as well as our assisted living and our memory care here at the Prospect Woodward Health Center. And so first I'd like to just do a brief introduction. The lady of the hour, who will tell you definitely more about who she is, Melissa Bassler, is a registered occupational therapist who is licensed here in New Hampshire as well as Vermont. She's certified with the National Board in Occupational Therapy with a specific practice area in geriatrics. And we're very, very lucky and honored to have her as our rehab director here at Hillside Village and the Prospect Woodward Health Center. So she and her team are able to work with all of our residents as either on a Medicare B situation or even for our wellness programs and different things that we can use Health Pro Heritage physical therapy and rehab here on campus. And just to introduce our team to see, if any of you have questions or thoughts about living here at Hillside Village. We have Judy Francine, who's the marketing director for our organization, the Hillside Village and the Prospect Woodward Health Center. I won't say how many years of experience she has, but she knows what she's doing and has been with the program, with this organization since before it was even built. I'm going to skip me and go to Tracy Borden, who's our residency counselor for Hillside Village. And she is the expert on all things independent living. So she'll be able to help anyone who's interested in learning more about that. She's also been here since pretty much pre-construction and when this was really just a thought. And then there's me, Joy Peterson, and my job here is the marketing and outreach coordinator specifically for the Prospect Woodward. So where Tracy is all things independent living, I am all things assisted living and memory care. So for those that need a little extra help, I would be the person that you would work with. But the four of us really, because I talk to Melissa all the time about different things, are what really make a unique and dynamic team to help people age well, age healthy, and be as independent as they can. So what I want to do now is turn this over to Melissa, let her talk a little bit about herself and get started. I'm going to be her clicker, so as she says next, that's for me, not you. And any questions we can hold until the end.
Thanks, Joy. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining. And this is one of my favorite topics. And I think in this time, in this day and time of what's going on with all of us and the situation at hand, Vow to Wow and Be the Best You is pertinent to everyone across the age span. I'll give you a quick little history about myself. I am a New Englander at heart, born in Northern Vermont, and have always enjoyed healthcare and working with residents and individuals after injuries or medical conditions. I've been an OT, an occupational therapist, for almost 20 years now. And I've worked in the senior living community setting for 12 years in California prior to being back home in New England. I've been the rehab director for a year and a half now here at Hillside Village, Keene. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, we'll do a nod, we'll do charades. Okay, good. So I think I'm going to get started. I work for Health Pro Heritage, and we are a national healthcare company. We're contracted in to provide therapy services for the residents here at Hillside Village community. physical and occupational therapy on site, and speech therapy services if needed. And Joy explained a little bit about your therapy here with us is under your Medicare B benefits and your secondary insurance. And it's been a seamless process to get that referral so we can see the residents for therapy and help them maintain their independence and stay safe on their feet. And that's our #1 priority. I think I'll go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna just kind of adjust my screen here a little bit so I can get organized. So vow to wow, be the best you, staying healthy as you age. So staying healthy and feeling your best is important at any age. And as we know over time, there's a lot of complexities. You have career changes or you have retirement, changes in your living environment, transitioning from a private residence to the independent living or assisted living communities. There's physical changes and loss of loved ones. For many, the changes are sheer, impactful, and they can impact your overall health. So it's important to take inventory of your health status to make sure that you're in control of your health, and I'm going to provide some strategies for that so we can remain as independent and healthy as possible. Next. So there's a staying healthy formula, and this includes, I think it's always, I'm going to retract a little bit. I think it's always good to kind of revisit where you are, how you're feeling emotionally, physically. And, you know, there's always the stigma, start a new year off. I often revisit it every 6 months and kind of take a look at where I'm at and if I can make changes. Less stress, more fun, and reevaluate your wellness. So the key is to balance your losses with positive actions and how these changes are handled. The start of a new year is a great time to reevaluate your present wellness and how to stay healthy throughout the year. Finding and following your personal formula for staying healthy is the key. So I'm going to just touch upon 8 areas that can be included in a stay healthy formula for everyone to follow. And I say, you know, 12 months, revisit every month, revisit these areas. And it will help you maintain your physical and emotional health and live your life to the fullest, whatever your age is. It pertains to everyone. Next. #1, coping with change. So this is a big one. We've all experienced a lot of change, a lot of complexities these last 6 months. To touch on it a little bit, as you age, there'll be periods of both joy and stress. It's important to build resilience and find healthy ways to cope with challenges. And this ability will help you make the most of good times and keep your perspective when times are tough. And that's an important component. Always kind of think about, put it in perspective and how you can change maybe a negative thinking pattern to a positive one. Next. #1, focus on things you're grateful for. When you stop taking things for granted, you appreciate and enjoy what you have even more. And I have 2 small children, and I often point that one out to them. My daughter's 11 and my son is 8, and that's a really important one. Acknowledge and express your feelings. Find healthy ways to process your feelings. Perhaps talking with a close friend or writing in a journal. I'm encouraging my kids to get back to snail mail instead of using their technology, and staying in touch with friends that way. Accept the things you can't change. A nice way to cope with change. Face your limitations with dignity and a healthy dose of humor. And look for the silver lining. As the saying goes, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. When facing major challenges, try to look at them as opportunities for personal growth. Next. Just take one step at a time. That's really all we can do. And that's something we could tell ourselves every morning when we wake up. Take one step at a time. Take daily action to deal with your life, with life's challenges. When a challenge seems too big to handle, take things one small step at a time. Even a small step can go a long way to boosting your confidence and reminding you that you are not powerless. And that's an important one. Next. Number 2, find meaning and joy. A key ingredient in the recipe for healthy living is the continuing ability to find meaning and joy in your life. As you age, your life will change and you will gradually lose things that previously occupied your time and gave you your life purpose. Later life can be a time of exciting new adventures if you let it. So staying healthy as you age means finding activities that you enjoy. And everyone has different ways of experiencing meaning and joy, and the activities you enjoy may change over time and take time to nourish your spirit. Next. So here are a couple examples if you're not sure, where to start to find meaning and joy. Try some of the following suggestions. Pick up a long neglected hobby or try a new hobby. Play with grandkids, nieces, nephews, or a favorite pet. Learn something new, an instrument, a foreign language, a new game, a new sport. Just to put a personal touch on this, the last 6 months, this has been something I've told my children, and my daughter and I, we're learning how to play the ukulele. Picked up a foreign language, learning how to speak French. And it's definitely, you wake up on the weekends and you have meaning and joy. I'm going to take on that new hobby. And so I definitely would recommend everyone to get started and pick an activity or a new event that you want to attend. Take a class or join a club. I know things are tough right now, but there's a lot of options online, virtual events such as this, or exercise classes online. So there's a lot of opportunities for that. Traveling in New England, I always like to say, go on a staycation or just go out for a drive and enjoy New England, especially this time. Spend time in nature, take a scenic hike, enjoy the arts, write in a journal. I have a gratitude journal that has 52 entries, and I'm writing it for my daughter one day. So talking about life experiences and how to find meaning and joy in life. And the possibilities are endless. The important thing is to find activities that are both meaningful and enjoyable for you. And I know at Hillside Village, they're still capturing those clubs and activities, and everyone is connecting given restrictions and such. And that's a really important component of the social, emotional, spiritual, physical, and intellectual guidelines. Next. Number 3, incorporate humor, laugh, and play. Laughter is strong medicine for both the body and the mind. It helps you stay balanced, energetic, joyful, and healthy at any age. A sense of humor helps you get through tough times, look outside yourself, laugh at the absurdities of life, and transcend difficulties. And laughter is the best medicine. I recently did a presentation here at Assisted Living, and laughter is the best medicine was the topic. And we had a lot of fun. We watched little snippets of I Love Lucy, and we went around telling jokes, and it was really, really important and special for all the residents to interact and have fun together. Next. Number 4, stay connected. One of the greatest challenges of aging is how support networks change. So staying connected isn't always easy, even for those who have also had an active social life. And I think at this time, it's been a little bit challenging. Using technology has been a godsend in a way, and telephone to reach out. Along with regular exercise, staying social can have the most impact on your health as you age. And having a really good social network, have people you can turn to support you when you feel maybe a little bit alone and depressed. So staying connected is a very important one.
And Melissa, I'll jump in on this, that our residents here at both Hillside and Prospect. You know, one of the amazing things of living in our communities is that they're not isolated in their homes. You know, they may not be going to the big dining room and the social hours and things, but they're
Right.
still able to be around people in some manner.
Yeah.
They're walking, and as we open, they're finding more items to do. We had an exercise class that was on the balconies. So everyone was on their balcony and they were exercising together. And as much as I love my neighbors, we don't do things like that. So I might as well be alone in my building. So I do want to throw that in, that there really is something to be said about staying connected when you're in a community like this.
Yeah. Yeah. The good news is there are lots of ways to be with other people. It doesn't matter what you do, so long as you get out of the house if possible and socialize. Connect regularly with friends and family, spend time with people you enjoy, and they'll make you feel upbeat. And making an effort to make new friends is also so important. And reconnecting with those that you maybe haven't talked to in a while, and reaching out to them just to say, hey, how you doing? Will help you see life in a new perspective and help stay connected long term too. Next, recommendation to spend time with at least one person a day. You know, we have family and spouse, and I think phone and email has been the new norm for everyone. Face-to-face contact, given the situation, is just as important. The social distance, keeping 6 feet away. It's also valid and crucial to stay connected that way. Volunteering is a nice option to stay connected, rather either via Zoom or I actually say the health center, they have a pet companionship, and so they'll do a Zoom with the pet, and they'll see Milo the dog once a week, and that's a way to stay connected. And then the volunteer, that's a nice way for her to stay connected with the community, is through Zoom meetings once a week. So there's plenty of opportunities. It's just seeking them and connecting with others for the healthy formula. Number 5 is review your diet. And next week, I have a presentation on eating for a sharper mind, which I have done here in the community, and it's a real good one, and it's really crucial. I think nutrition is a huge component on your health and emotional well-being. It's kind of a specialty that I like. I like to do my own research on nutrition and health. And it's not about eating certain foods and avoiding others as much as it's the awareness and choices about the foods that you eat. So here are some ways to make a change. Replace I should with I choose. So instead, I should be eating more fruits and vegetables. You can say, I choose to eat more fruits and vegetables. And it shows that you're in control. You're making that choice. So if you choose to, or you choose not to, you make the choice, and then you move on. Choose to plan. Stock your pantry with healthy fare and bring healthy snacks with you so you're prepared when you get hungry. I always have nuts and healthy snacks, protein bars in my bag. I try not to keep chips in my pantry because that's my downfall, salty things. Some people like sugar, I like salt. Slow down and savor your food. They're saying don't watch TV, work, or drive while you're eating. You really should sit down and enjoy your meal. You're much more likely to feel satisfied if you don't multitask while you eat, and then you might not overeat if you're really focused on your meal. Shoot for 5 to 9 daily servings of fruits and veggies. So your plate should always look like a rainbow. Cover the rainbow of fruit and vegetables to get the good mix of nutrients. So if you're not getting that rainbow look, you're probably not getting all the nutrients that you need. And I know at Hillside Village, on the independent side and the AL side, the food selections have been fantastic, and their plate looks like a rainbow. They're incorporating all of these important nutrients in the meals, which has been fantastic. Number 6, get active and boost vitality. Don't fall for the myth that growing older automatically means you're not going to feel good anymore. It is true that aging involves physical changes. While not all illness or pain is avoidable, many of our physical challenges associated with aging can be overcome or mitigated by exercising, eating right, and taking care of yourself. And I feel like those are the top 3 components to vow to wow, be the best you. Exercise, eating right, and taking care of yourself. So taking care of yourself is that emotional, spiritual component. It's never too late to start, no matter how old you are or how unhealthy you've been in the past. Caring for your body has enormous benefits. Help you stay active, sharpen your memory, boost your immune system, manage those pre-existing medical health problems, and also increase your energy. Tips for exercising as you age. A recent Swedish study found that exercise is the #1 contributor to longevity, adding extra years to your life, even if you don't start exercising until your senior years. There's been a lot of research behind exercise, and it doesn't have to be hours and hours. It can just be, I'm going to get up and walk after breakfast every day. I'm going to track my steps and try to get so many steps a day. And it's not about just adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years, which I really like, which I think that's important. Exercise helps you maintain your strength and agility, improves your sleep, increases vitality, gives your mental health a boost, and can even help diminish chronic pain. It's also had profound effects on the brain, preventing memory loss, cognitive decline, and dementia. So this is a very important component to the healthy formula. Next. There are many reasons why we tend to slow down. And, sometimes I always have an excuse not to exercise, but if you do it, you always feel better. And you can become more active if you, #1, face the reasons why I'm not exercising. If you need to, you can be realistic about what and how much you can do. Like I said, if you just set the goal very small and say, I'm going to walk 3 times, I'm going to walk after every meal. 3 times a day, I'm going to do this short route. It's better than nothing. Start small, build slowly. A little at a time is great. Try different activities to find something you enjoy. Exercise with a friend, and stay motivated by rewarding yourself. So start small and think big.
What are some good rewards that you could give yourself for exercising? That would help me, because I know I can come up with 100 reasons not to do it.
Exercise. I know you don't want to reward yourself with food, but that might be something. A nice treat, like something you could say, something material, like I'm going to buy those new sneakers. Because if you do walk every day, you're supposed to buy new sneakers, I call them sneaks, new sneakers every 3 months. That's what they say. So buying yourself a new set of sneakers would be a nice way to reward yourself. Or a new book. I recently downloaded Audible, and I listen to a lot of books in the car as I'm driving and such, on my way to work, and picking up a new book, just a nice way to reward yourself. #7, sleep well. And I think this has been, I hear it often with my residents and patients here. Sleep is a tricky one. It is a tricky one. There's so many components to not sleeping well, and I often say, why aren't you sleeping well? What are one of the reasons? It kind of sets the resident back, like, well, my mind couldn't shut off, or my belly was upset. I kind of come into terms of why I'm not sleeping well. So many adults complain of sleep problems as they age, insomnia. Some people frequent walking during the night. Naturally boost your melatonin levels at night. Artificial light can suppress the body's production, the hormone that makes you sleepy. So use low wattage bulbs. Turn off the TV and computer at least 1 hour before bed. And I've tried that, and I have to say, I don't wake up as often if I kind of shut down technology for an hour before I go to bed. Make sure your bedroom is quiet and dark and cool, and that your bed is comfortable. So it's creating that environment to sleep well is important. Noise, light, and heat often interfere with sleep, and trying to use an eye mask to block out light if you need to. Next, develop a bedtime ritual. Take a bath, listen to some music. I also often listen to a book. I downloaded a meditation app, so sometimes I'll listen and do a guided meditation before I go to bed. Go to bed earlier. Adjust your bedtime to match when you feel tired, even if it's earlier than it used to be. I know at my house, we're early to bed, early to rise. And it's kind of it's a long-standing joke with our friends and family because they know not to call us like after 9 o'clock because our whole family's in bed at that time. But we wake up early and we get, solid 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And if you're inactive, you may never feel sleepy or feel sleepy all the time. So incorporating that exercise into your daily routine is gonna help you sleep. Regular exercise during the day, at least 3 hours before bedtime, can promote good sleep. It's a good one. Next, number 8, keep your mind sharp. There are many good reasons for keeping your brain as active as your body. Exercising, keeping your brain active, and maintaining creativity can help to prevent cognitive decline and memory problems. The more active and social you are, and the more you use and sharpen your brain, the more benefits you'll get. And this is especially true if your career no longer challenges you, or if you've retired from work altogether. So it's finding those activities to keep your mind sharp. Okay. So here are some examples. Try variations on what you know. So find something that you enjoy, and continue to work with it and challenge yourself. If you like crosswords, maybe move to a little more challenging series, or try a new word game. And if you like to cook, try cooking a different food, or try baking. If you've been mostly cooking over the stove, take on some baking. Ways to keep your mind sharp. Next. Work something new into each day. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be a simple crossword, just something each day, whether it's taking a different route to the grocery store, brushing your teeth with a different hand, which I find I'm very right-handed, so that's tricky for me. Taking on a new subject, and like I said, learning a new language, a computer skill, a new activity, taking something on. There's inexpensive classes, and as I said, I think the internet and technology is a great way to get yourself involved in new classes, and it can all be done online. Volunteering, also taking classes and volunteering is a great way to boost social connections, which is another brain strengthener. Next. Setting goals. The key to achieving your health goals in this new year is to make sure you're setting realistic goals, and even more important, to make sure you have the support you need to get healthy. Here are some tips. Make sure your health goals are realistic. Short-term, small goals are easier to achieve. Example is, oops. Keeping a diet. Okay, we'll move on. Number 2, that was you can aim to at least 5 veggies a day. So set a goal that you can achieve. Okay, now I'm ready. Keep a diary of your health goals. So sometimes telling yourself you're going to do it could seem overwhelming, or you just tell yourself, there's no way I'm going to do this. Break it down and record it in a journal. and be prepared for setbacks. Don't be so hard on yourself. Some days are harder than others. Bad days happen. And you can't let that wear you down to resolve. Just aim to make tomorrow better than today in terms of achieving your health goals. You are looking for long-term changes in behavior. So one bad day isn't gonna ruin you. So if I have a donut today, it's okay. Have the donut and then take some extra steps tomorrow.
I joked, I'll jump on a personal note too. I've been taking wellness from one of the Health Pro Heritage people, and I told her that I fell off the PT wagon and I hadn't been doing my exercises, and she didn't criticize me. And I
No,
want to say number 3 came into play, and she said, all right, well, just start again tomorrow. So it really is true. Don't be hard on yourself.
no, definitely not. Enlist a friend. It's always easier to achieve your goal if you have a buddy. So find a friend who wants to exercise more, or if you have similar interests or hobbies, and enlist a friend. That's an important one. And then know where to turn for help. Sometimes, no matter what our health goals are, we may not be able to achieve them ourselves. And sometimes they're not easy to achieve. So there's nothing wrong with looking for help and having that go-to person that you can turn to. Next. So in summary, vow to wow, be the best you. Staying healthy and feeling your best is important at any age. The key to staying healthy is how changes are handled. Start the new year off, or start tomorrow. How about start tomorrow? Reevaluate your present status of wellness and set goals on ways to stay healthy throughout the year. So I think we can all say vow to wow this year. We're ready for some positive changes and some positivity. And let's have a great rest of 2020 and into 2021. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate your attention. And this is an important topic for me, and I know the residents here. It's great to communicate with everyone and make sure we all follow the healthy formula.
And Melissa, I'm going to ask, I know because I'm in a lot of meetings with you, and I don't think people realize how simple everyday activities can sometimes be exercise. I remember you talking about a woman you worked with potting a plant and standing at the counter, and I always joke about an actress I heard who does squats while she brushes her teeth for 2 minutes.
Right,
Are there
right.
anything like that you can recommend, that people just do little things, even that when they're sitting, you know, is it stretching your feet? Is there something like that you would recommend?
Yeah, and I always say, you know, for occupational therapy, the scope of our practice is maximizing your independence by participating in your everyday activities. So a lot of times getting up in the morning and it's a shower day, showering is exercise. So it's not necessarily the remedial exercise. I do think it's fantastic to get on a program. So every day, just like I said, 3 times a day after every meal, you're going to say, I'm going to do those short walks. Or 10 o'clock every day during this TV show, I'm going to do my arm exercises and use a soup can. I don't have weights at home. I'm going to use a soup can as resistance, and incorporate that into, and that's remedial exercise. That's your standard everyday exercise program. But I do think getting up and cleaning the kitchen and vacuuming and sweeping and working out in the yard, and if you're in that private residence or you're here at Hillside Village, becoming involved in the gardening club and having the opportunity to take those long walks to the activities is a nice way to exercise and not even realize you're exercising. Definitely. I often have residents who want to build their endurance, and I might talk about interests and what they love to do. And if they like to bake, then we'll use that as an activity, and the goal will be to stand for 10 minutes and then have a chair close by and sit and rest and then get up again and work in the kitchen. And that's a nice way to build your endurance and strength, but you're participating in a functional activity. So I think that's a good point, and it's important for everyone to realize just doing your everyday activities is exercise. It is. Yeah.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is just unmute, although you can unmute yourselves as well now once I do that, just to see if there's any questions or thoughts about what we've learned. So Jean, Lyle, and Dan will unmute themselves. Dan's unmuted. All right.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure quite what the rules are now, but it would be wonderful if we could use the halls for exercise. Getting out down onto the driveway and stuff is a lot of effort. But following the ideas that you've raised here, Melissa,
Mm-hmm.
I could probably get myself organized to plan to walk, to the front desk or to here or there. But I don't think we're allowed to do that yet. Is that correct?
Judy, do you know officially in independent living? I know residents can go get their mail and walk.
If you have a mission, you can do it, but
Just for exercise purposes?
If someone found me, all the way the other side of the halls,
Mm-hmm.
they'd wonder why I was there. I think, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. At one point, we weren't allowed to, I know, because of COVID. And with winter coming, that may be an issue for even more people.
Right.
So currently, we really don't want people congregating. So if you wanted to walk down the hall, I don't see that as being a big deal if that's going to be your source of exercise, or reserve the fitness center and go walk there, or do some form of exercise in the fitness center.
Yeah, that's a little too much at the moment, but.
Okay.
Dan, I might be able to, maybe if you don't mind, I'll reach out to you and maybe we can come up with kind of a trail within the campus. Because I know some hallways are less busy than others. So maybe we can kind of look into a good course for you to do some walking. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, that sounds good.
Any other questions?
Just a follow-up comment.
Oh, great, Jean, go ahead.
We're not at Hillside Village, but at home, we've been able to have one or two friends over distance outside, and as fall and winter comes, all these things are going to change. It seems to me Dan's point is one to think about for not just people that find it harder to get outside, but a lot of people are going to be wanting to walk the halls as winter comes, because it looks like we're going to be shut down pretty much for the whole winter and maybe even into next summer. So I would imagine that there you are starting to think about people's mental health as well as physical health, and how, what changes you can make safely to accommodate people in the winter, because it's going to be very different. We haven't lived through the winter with this yet.
Yeah, I know we have a lot of programming also on our internal channel. So people are exercising and doing yoga and different things in their apartments with the personal trainer who's just not in their apartment. But I'm sure that, something like a walking group, internal walking, could be figured out. Judy, you'd know the hallways better and how that could work.
Oh, there's plenty of opportunity to walk inside.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And to your point, Jean, we have weekly meetings about where we are in the opening of the community.
I'm
and
sure
what
you do.
and what phase we're at. And I can tell you my inbox, I have a COVID-19 file in my inbox on my computer that has probably way too many emails in it. But we
Wow.
look at what's happening around us in the different states. So we're being super cautious.
That's
you
good.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do you have a question, Lyle?
Yeah.
Residents that have tested positive for COVID with your precautions?
Say, was the question is, have we had any residents test positive?
Yeah, right.
We have, I personally don't know of anybody.
Yeah, so what you've done is really working pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of
I
course,
know our health center has not. We just got results again from our tests this week, and all negative again.
that's one of the things for people that are still living out in the community. It kind of becomes another factor on when you might want to move in, or when, you know, in some cases, it seems like you want to wait until the COVID restrictions were gone. Of course, we don't know how long that's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's sort of the opposite thought now. In the beginning, maybe people thought it would be over in a couple months, but now we're finding that our residents actually survived and got through things very well. I mean, Judy, you know too, from your side of the street, they were
Let's
much
say-
safer than I think people who were forced to go out and have to still expose themselves every day.
I can't tell you the number of people that have stopped me and said how grateful that they are to be here. Because if they were in their condo or in their house, they truly would have been by themselves. They might see their kids because they would drop off the groceries on the porch and then leave because they didn't want to have any contact with them in case they had been affected by the pandemic. The things that we did as an organization, it seemed hard at first, but looking back on it, it was absolutely the smartest thing we could have done. We slammed the door closed, and we kept it closed for the better part of 90 days. But we also rallied. We brought on probably 120 food items into the community so people did not have to go out and go shopping. We arranged for all sorts of food deliveries, everything delivered. We were picking up prescriptions. If people had to go to the physician's office, we would arrange for that to happen. Staff gets tested every 10 days?
Every 10 days. Yeah.
Every 10 days. So that we're tested every 10 days to make sure that we're staying safe. So it's been a very interesting journey the last 6 months.
I agree. And we have had people join our community over the last 6 months who have moved in. And, initially, it's a little challenging because we ask them to kind of keep to themselves for, a week or two and just to make sure everything's clean and clear. And then as they are here and more comfortable, they're realizing that they're not isolated as they were, like Judy said, in where they moved from.
Yep.
It has made a difference.
Yeah, we'll have had 12 move-ins over the last 4 months.
Yeah. I think it's great that a lot of the residents have started like their own Zoom groups. So, be darned that social hour isn't done in person. They're doing it on Zoom now. Or in the hallway, they're opening their door and just sort of talking to people from, 12 feet apart and having that, a quick drink and saying hello to one another. So I thought that was really nice that they're able to do that.
And the other thing that we instituted is we felt that some of the people that were living single within the community were struggling a little bit more. So we allowed them to choose a buddy within the community. So Lyle, if I lived next door to you, I'd say, hey, Lyle, do you want to be my buddy? So you and we could spend time together. We could We could go to the gym and work out together. We could use the swimming pool together. So we were trying to be as flexible as we could so that people weren't feeling so isolated.
All right. Any other questions? I don't want to cut anyone short. Melissa is a wealth of knowledge, and you know, she knows her stuff. So
I have a question for Melissa.
Yes.
In one of the slides about walking, something was said about you could set a goal for number of steps.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, some years ago, we were all told we had to have 10,000 steps. And then there was a more recent study that said we had to have 4,400 steps. So I'm just like to ask, for people over 65 or over 75, you know, what is she reading or hearing about a decent number of steps?
Decent number of steps. You're right. It has changed quite a bit. Kind of like the philosophy, you eat eggs, you can't eat eggs, high cholesterol. So yes, research changes all the time. You know, I usually, it's hard to say. I know that I heard the 4,400, I heard the 10,000. And I think it's just very specific to what your abilities are. And if you use, say, go by 1 mile, or it's really hard to say. It really is. I would say if you can, I like the theory of 3 walks a day. And if you can do, you know, a half a mile on each walk, or, you know, go through the 5,000 steps a day, just to move is really the bottom line. It is the bottom line. I still gauge by the 10,000 steps. I'm kind of that traditional, try to get 10,000 steps in a day. How many steps do you think, are you tracking your steps daily, Jean?
I'm not tracking steps.
No. Yeah.
I'm tracking miles.
Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I'm trying to get a minimum of a mile, and I don't always do that, or I might do more, but you know, it's interesting to just know what they're saying now, because as you say, it varies all over the place.
It changes too.
10,000 steps is a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah.
I always like the mile. I think that's an easy way to just gauge the mile a day.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be a fast walk either. I mean, oftentimes I clock a lot of miles going between, you know, walking up. I'd always take the stairs here at the health center, and there's, you know, lower level to 3 floors. And I often can do 10,000 steps in a day, but,
right.
But, you know, going out and walking your driveway or to the mailbox and doing that, and it adds up. But I think I like the mile goal to start there, if you're gonna set a goal. But I'll look up in the journals what the most recent recommendations are. I think that would be helpful to kind of put it out there. Maybe I can put it in a newsletter just to remind everyone the new guidelines are this many steps.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
And remember, she said start small. So if a quarter mile is where you can start,
That's right.
start with a quarter, and before you know it, maybe you hit the half mile. And
Just as long as you're moving.
yep. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I just like to mention to Lyle, my wife and I have been here since before COVID, been about a year, I guess it is now. I don't think we're alone in thinking that we feel really safe from COVID here, and the trade-offs, you know, like I think you were mentioning, Lyle, should you wait till COVID's over to come here? I would say come here and hide as soon as you can, because life here isn't too bad, and it feels very, very safe. The staff has been, I'm kissing ass here, I understand, with all this staff here, but you know, we're always pressuring a little bit. Well, can we do this? Can we do that? And the staff has been wonderful at understanding our needs, but also making sure we don't do things that are foolish for us or for other people in the community. So I wouldn't delay coming here because of COVID. I would accelerate coming here because of COVID.
Yeah, there's definitely advantages and disadvantages on both sides.
Sure.
But that's one of the reasons I ask about the number of cases. It is impressive that you've managed to
Right.
come this far without anybody getting COVID.
Yeah. And none of us know quite what this winter is going to bring with as far as COVID's concerned. But being here, I figure we can weather that storm, whatever it is, because the staff has done a wonderful job of setting this thing up and being flexible and loosening up when they can, ready to tighten down if they need to. And as one of the staff members was saying, if things get tough, making sure you can get your groceries and get your medications and all that's all been worked out here.
Yeah.
And in a home situation, we were up in Alston. We couldn't have done all that, and it would have. Anyway, it feels very safe here.
Yep.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah. I'll say from a staff perspective, being isolated, and I moved here myself about a month before COVID, and I think it's my coworkers and the residents who have kept me on the sane side. I would have been very isolated by myself, and I have good friends that are, they're not able to go into work and they're pretty much home. And even from a staff perspective, even if it's only on Zoom that I can meet with my team, I've enjoyed, actually, I've even benefited from the fact that I'm able to be still around human beings, even if I'm not with them close by. All right, if there's any other questions or anything, I'm gonna just remind everyone that the line that Melissa and I fixed came back. We don't know if that's there, but we'll pretend it's not. So next week on the 22nd is the second part to this with Melissa, Eating for a Sharper Mind. And we're also going to have the registered dietitian for the Prospect Woodward Health Center here as well, to participate and answer questions that might be very, very specific to nutrition. Melissa and her work together, and Jenna is a great part of all of our care plan meetings, and she's been also talking with Hillside Village to see if there's anywhere that that could be applied as well. So if you'd like to join us for that, that would be wonderful. If you visit our website, you'll also see that if you want to learn how are these things being applied here at Hillside Village and what makes Hillside Village what it is, there'll be an open house on Thursday. So that's again 11 o'clock, and we can, you can kind of see how all this would apply for our residents. So with that, I just want to thank all of you for your time. I want to thank Melissa so much for a great presentation. Thank you so much. It was amazing. I learned some things and was reminded of other things that I have to give myself a break sometimes. Or I liked the could versus should.
Yeah.
Because I say I could eat out of the ice cream carton, but I should use a bowl. So all of those things help. So thank you so much, Melissa.
Sure, thanks.
And all of you who have joined. And if you didn't notice, we have our group from our third floor assisted living who sat in on this too. And they were checking out what they can do as well. Hi, everybody. Yep.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
And yeah, there'll be some handouts, I believe, right, Melissa, that I can send out as a follow-up from this?
Yeah. Yeah, if anyone wants to fill out some health screening forms and kind of put in perspective what your goals are, what you're doing now, and where you want to strive towards. We have a couple handouts that, yeah, definitely we can provide.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to thank everyone. I hope if you haven't signed up for next week, let me know, or you can go register through our email or through our website. And thank you all very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
You.
Great.
Have a good
Have a
day.
You too.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.